this advanced English lesson, looking at expressions, and we headed up how to speak English in 30 minutes. So if you can use some of these and concentrate and focus on this particular lesson, then in 30 minutes, thereabouts, you're going to pick up phrases that you can use on a day-to-day basis. Okay, number 1. At the end of the day. At the end of the day. This is very, very common, very well used. It's used by people to introduce a summary or bring about a conclusion in something they are saying. So for example, I know it's been a tough project for us all, but at the end of the day, we have learned a lot. Now, it could be the teacher who's saying it to the class. I know this has been a tough year, a tough academic year for all of us, but at the end of the day, it's going to help you to pass those all-important exams that are beginning next week. So the teacher can use it in that respect. At the end of the day means in summary or in conclusion. At the end of the day, I think we can all agree that family comes first, and these are the important things that matter. So at the end of the day, no matter what happens, no matter what arguments we have, family always comes first. Okay, so at the end of the day. So well used expression. Number 2, this one, as a matter of fact. Now, we use this when we want to tell somebody that in fact we have done what they're just about to ask us to do or what they're just about to remind us. Yeah, so if your mother or father or somebody, your boss, is going to ask you, did you send that package? Did you do that homework? Did you call your granny? As a matter of fact, I've just finished talking to granny, yeah? As a matter of fact, I sent the email to you 2 minutes ago. You should see it in your inbox. As a matter of fact, I've just got off the phone to that client and I'm going to meet them next week. Okay, so as a matter of fact is a great way to tell somebody an important piece of information that they are just about to remind you about, or they're going to annoy you about again. Okay, so some examples. As a matter of fact, I've already completed that task, so no need to remind me, it's done. As a matter of fact, I won't be able to attend the meeting tomorrow after all. I've got to go and meet that client. Okay, so just different ways in which you can use that expression as a matter of fact. But what you're doing is you're telling somebody that there's no need to remind you, there's no need to ask you, because whatever they're going to ask, it has already been done, already been achieved. Number 3, by and large. By and large. So what does that mean? By and large, it's usually used to indicate a particular or general trend or an overall view of something. By and large, people are pretty good in the company. They don't abuse the hospitality. You get 1 or 2 people who are late on a regular basis, but by and large, everybody seems to start work in or around the same time, by and large. Or, by and large, I tend to agree with you. So 90% of the time I agree with you, but there's maybe 10% when I don't. So by and large, people tend to agree, that they don't make or cause any difficulties, but occasionally something might happen. By and large, the new policy that the company introduced has been well accepted, well regarded by the employees, by and large. So it leaves room for some people disagreeing, but not many. By and large, we tend to get a lot of rain in the months of March and April in this part of the country, by and large. So in general, a general opinion. Now, there could be exceptions, but that's usually the way it is, by and large. Another expression, number 4, in the grand scheme of things. This means when you take everything into consideration, the really important matters in the grand scheme of things. So it's used to indicate the larger perspective. We're not just focusing on the minutiae of the detail. We're looking at the bigger picture, as they like to say, the bigger picture. So in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter whether we miss our deadline by 15 minutes or a day. It's not going to change dramatically. It's good to meet the deadlines, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not the most important thing. Okay, so In the grand scheme of things, this setback, it's only a minor setback. It's not going to cause huge problems, so don't worry. In the grand scheme of things, a few extra dollars spent here and there to keep the staff happy, it's not such a bad idea. We're not going to go bust as a result in the grand scheme of things. So it literally means there are more important things in life. There are more important things to worry about. So in the grand scheme of things. And if you do like this particular lesson, then please like the video. And if you can, subscribe to the channel because it really helps. And there are thousands of you, thank you so much, who are liking the videos and who are subscribing to the channel. So it's obviously working. So keep up the good work. Number 5. In the nick of time. In the nick of time. Now, this means that you do something just ahead of the deadline or just before something becomes an issue. So it's just at the right time. Yes, it's any few minutes later and it would have been too late. So in the nick of time. For example, we arrived in the airport in the nick of time, just as our flight was being called. So perhaps we left it a little bit tight to leave home. We had the foot to the floor when we were driving along the motorway, but we finally got to the airport in the nick of time, just as the flight was being called. A few minutes later, it would have been too late. We wouldn't have been able to get through security. The paramedics arrived in the nick of time and were able to resuscitate the person who had collapsed on the street. So the paramedics arrived in the nick of time. 10, 50 minutes later, perhaps the poor unfortunate man or woman would have died. But they arrived in the nick of time, were able to get the person, help them to regain consciousness, and thankfully everything is well. So in the nick of time, just at the right moment. A few minutes later, as I said, it would be too late in the nick of time. I took my roast beef out of the oven in the nick of time. I was stuck on a phone call. A few minutes later, it would have been burnt to a crisp and it would be like eating the sole of your shoe in the nick of time. Okay, moving on now. Number 6, to jump through hoops. H-O-O-P-S, these rings, jump through hoops. And we use this to indicate that there's a difficult task or something really challenging that we have to do. Perhaps you go to the boss and you want to get that salary increase or you want the bonus, and you might say, that boss, he makes you jump through hoops just to get your salary. My God, the hours I work in this place is terrible. He makes you jump through hoops. You have to do something really challenging and literally beg to get a salary increase. I had to jump through hoops to get all this paperwork completed so I could get these documents sent off in time. To jump through hoops. It was a really challenging time. The candidate had to jump through hoops to get the job. He had to do 3 interviews and then he had to do a practical exam as well. I mean, really, really difficult, but it was worth it in the end. But to get the job, he had to jump through hoops. Number 7, this is a boxing reference to throw in the towel. If you ever watch a boxing match and if one boxer is getting really badly punished, his corner, as they call it, his management, will throw in the towel into the ring, which means effectively to stop the fight and he has surrendered or given up, to throw in the towel. So to throw in the towel is used to indicate to give up or to admit defeat. So if you're trying to work out crossword puzzle and you can't get those last couple of clues, you just, I'm going to throw in the towel. I really can't work this out. Or at school, if it's a really difficult mathematical equation or chemical formula you're trying to work out and you just admit defeat. I'm never going to get this. I'm just going to throw in the towel. I'll tell the teacher, they'll give me the answer tomorrow. So to throw in the towel is to admit defeat. So some examples. After trying for months, I finally threw in the towel and admitted that I just couldn't complete the task. We were losing badly and we decided to throw in the towel and we got beaten 10-0. Okay, so the game ended early, but we were really getting hammered. We threw in the towel, or we appeared to throw in the towel because it looked as if we weren't interested. So to throw in the towel means to admit defeat. And somebody might say to you, look, why don't you just throw in the towel? It's not so important, is it? Yeah. If you lose, you lose. What's the point? Number 8, to have a lot on your plate, or as it says here, to have a lot on one's plate. Very formal English, to have a lot on one's plate. But when we have a lot on our plate, it means that we have more than enough to do. In fact, probably too much, okay? So if somebody asks you to do something for them, to do some extra work, you might say, well, look, I can't take on any more work at the moment. I've too much work on my plate, meaning my desk is completely full, or my inbox is full, or there's a list of projects to do as long as your arm, okay? I'd love to go out with you tonight, but I can't. I have a lot on my plate. I'm going away for the weekend, and I really need to get this work completed. So when somebody is really sorry, for example, I'm sorry, I can't take on any projects or any more projects right now. I've got enough on my plate. So again, just admitting that, you'll have to come back another time, or perhaps just give me a few days to clear some of this workload, then I might be able to consider it. But at the moment, I've got a lot on my plate. So I can't go out because I'm going away for the weekend. I've got a lot on my plate. I've got to do the ironing, whatever it happens to be. You've got to do things. So you've got a lot on your plate. Number 9, let's play it by ear. Okay, let's play it by ear. And what this means is, let's not make a decision now. We don't have to rush in and make a decision. Let's wait and see what happens. Something might happen, and which means we don't have to do it. Okay, so let's play it by ear. So this expression really means let's be flexible. Let's not make a decision now that we might regret. Let's be flexible and make plans as things develop, because things do change. And if things do change, well, perhaps it will be better or worse. But if we do something that we can't change, well, then we've got a real problem. So let's play it by ear. Let's be a little bit flexible, see what happens, and then we can adjust or amend our agenda or schedules to suit that particular situation. So let me give you an example then. We haven't decided where to go for dinner yet, so let's play it by ear and see where the evening takes us. Perhaps you're out for a walk with your partner and you're going to go for something to eat, but you haven't made any reservations. You're not quite sure. Do you want Italian? Do you want Moroccan? Whatever type of food that you want. So let's see where the road takes us. We go down this street or that street. We'll see a restaurant. Let's try there. So let's play it by ear. So you haven't made a decision, so you're just going to wait and see whatever happens. I'm not sure what time I'll be able to finish the work today, so let's play it by ear. If I finish on time, I'll give you a call and we can meet up and go for a drink. So you're not making any final commitment or any firm commitment, but if you finish your work early and if you have time, then yeah, I'll give you a call and then we can meet up. If not, we can do that tomorrow. So let's play it by ear. Number 10. It's not rocket science. I use this expression a lot. It's not rocket science. And really what it means is it's not that difficult, okay? So you don't have to be Einstein to work this out. It's not rocket science. So the expression is often used to convey that something is not so complicated. It's not so difficult. So why should we make it sound complicated or difficult? It's not rocket science. Cooking an omelette is not rocket science. You break a few eggs, you mix them up in the pan, you add some oil before you do it, you throw in some chopped tomatoes or sprinkle some cheese, voila, you have an omelette. So it's not rocket science. You just have to be careful you don't burn the egg and you make sure you don't burn the pan, but it's not rocket science. Don't worry about figuring out how to use the new software. It's easy. There's a prompt on every page. It's not rocket science, okay? So before you do anything, it will ask you, do you want to do this? Do you want to erase it? Do you want to continue? So it's step by step. So it's not rocket science. Just read the instructions, click here, click there, and everything will work out fine. So it's not rocket science, meaning, yeah, a monkey could do it. So you shouldn't look on it as being so complicated or too difficult. Okay, and we're on to number 11. So 5 to go out of 15, 5 to go. Number 11, under the weather. So my wife is a little bit under the weather now. You might have heard her in the background sneezing. So apologies for that if you picked it up on the recording. So under the weather, when somebody is feeling sick or unwell. Okay, I'm a little bit under the weather today. Perhaps it's the time of the year and somebody has got some allergies. Perhaps they've picked up a flu bug, but they're just not feeling 100% and they're a little bit under the weather. I won't be able to come to work today. I'm a little bit under the weather. So not anything specific. You can't put your finger on it. You can't even tell perhaps you don't even want to tell them how you're feeling or what it is, but just that you're a little bit under the weather, so you won't be able to attend the office today. She's been feeling under the weather all week, so I think a few days in bed will do her the world of good. Yeah, so she's under the weather or feeling a little bit under the weather. So somebody not so healthy, not serious, but not so healthy. Number 12, to jump the gun. To jump the gun. When we jump the gun, we act or do something a little bit prematurely before we should have done it. Okay, so we, literally in a race, when they used to have a starter's pistol to start the athletics race, if you watched the old Olympics, the guy would stand there with the little gun, the starter's pistol, and he would fire it. But if somebody got ahead of that, then they'd have to call them back and the person would be warned or disqualified because they jumped the gun. They went off a little bit prematurely. So if you're talking in a business meeting and some people are getting a little bit ahead of themselves in terms of the plans, you might just pull them up on it and say, look, I think we're jumping the gun a little bit here by making plans before we actually decide or we're actually sure what this schedule will look like. So let's not jump the gun. Let's not start planning this before we've looked at it properly. There's no point going into all this expense and all this trouble unless we know exactly what's ahead of us. So let's not jump the gun. Let's not go off too early. So let's not jump the gun and assume that we've got the job, okay? And let's wait until we hear back from the recruiter. So if you've gone for a job interview and you're all excited, oh, it's a great company, really want to work for them, the people look great, and the conditions are wonderful. Well, okay, let's not jump the gun. You haven't got the job yet. Wait till you hear from the recruiter. Wait to see you're going to be called for the second or the third interview. So just take things a little bit easy. So not to jump the gun. So it could be, some people get a little bit excited. They have a sense that something's going to happen and they jump to conclusions immediately, but they just have to wait and bide their time. So let's not jump the gun. Number 13 is to bite the bullet. Bite the bullet. Well, what does that mean? Well, when you bite the bullet, you have to accept and face a difficulty or face a decision that's going to be difficult, particularly something unpleasant, and you have to face it bravely. Okay, so bite the bullet. So perhaps you've got a toothache, all right, and you've been taking some Panadol or aspirin with the hope that the toothache would disappear, but finally you have to bite the bullet and realize, no, you need to go to the dentist even though you don't like it, and there's every possibility that the tooth will have to come out. Okay, so you have to literally bite the bullet. Okay, so you have to swallow the pain, accept that there's going to be some pain, and make a visit to that dentist. So a couple of examples. I know you're nervous about the presentation, but you just have to bite the bullet and get it done. We all get nervous before we make presentations. Some of us good, some of us bad, but guess what? It's part and parcel of life. So you just have to face the music. You have to do it. So you're going to have to bite the bullet on this. You're going to have to do it at practice. You're going to have to get up and make the presentation, because guess what? Nobody else is going to do it. And when you do the first one, the next one will be a piece of cake. So bite the bullet, accept that you have to do it, and get on with it. I really don't want to have the conversation with my boss, but I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and go in and tell him that I'm leaving. Okay, so perhaps you're just fed up with the way things are going. You're really not getting any job satisfaction anymore. But the only way to deal with it is to go and tell the boss that you're leaving. Yeah, he's not going to like it, so I don't want to have that conversation, but I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and tell him, and let's see what happens. Okay, so when we have to face a difficult decision or face something unpleasant and we have to face it bravely, then we say bite the bullet. Number 14, to get the ball rolling. So 2 to go. Number 14, to get the ball rolling. And to get the ball rolling literally means just to get something started, to start something. So at a meeting, somebody could say, okay, who wants to get the ball rolling? Meaning, who's going to kick off this meeting? We need some questions or we need some points. Who's going to get the ball rolling? So it could be a one of those, as we talked about, brainstorming sessions. Okay, so if there's a brainstorming session, okay, who wants to get the ball rolling? Who's got the first idea? So you come up with the first idea. Let's get the ball rolling on planning the party. Let's start by setting the date and sending out the invitation. So we're going to have a party. Okay, so let's agree on a date, which Saturday is going to be. Then somebody take responsibility to send out the invitations by text. So let's get the ball rolling. The sooner we get started, the sooner we will get finished. Or if there's a group of you in college working on a particular project, there's a deadline for a couple of weeks and you really have to get your heads together. So you might say, okay, we need to get the ball rolling on this project. We're running out of time and the deadline is fast approaching. So you know exactly what has to be done, the date, the time, and you just have to come up with your ideas. So let's get the ball rolling, or we really need to get the ball rolling on this particular project. Okay, and then number 15, to hit the nail on the head, to hit the nail on the head. Okay, so, if you're trying to do some DIY work and you have a hammer and a small nail, it looks easy, but if you're not careful, you'll end up hitting your thumb or your finger. Believe me, that's very, very painful. So to hit the nail on the head is to get something exactly right. Okay, so perhaps there's a reason why the customer has cancelled his contract and everybody is throwing in their ideas. Well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And you suggest, well, I actually think it's because we didn't respond to him quick enough. And somebody says, yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. This guy is really very precise. He expects something to happen immediately, and we didn't respond in time. And unfortunately, he's probably gone to another supplier. So you hit the nail on the head. You get right to the point. It's exact and it's correct. You hit the nail on the head. I've been really stressed out lately. So perhaps your wife or a partner or somebody is not really 100%. They've been feeling a little bit strange. Perhaps they're not eating, not sleeping so well. So you suggest that they take a few days off work, they go away, they get a change of environment. Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. I've really been feeling stressed lately. What I need is a complete break. So you're going to have a holiday for a week or two to hit the nail on the head. My friend knew exactly what was wrong with my car. He hit the nail on the head when he said it was a problem with the gasket or the spark plugs or the accumulator, something in the car. But he knows better than I do, so he hit the nail on the head, and within 5 minutes, the garage man had repaired it. So to hit the nail on the head, to be exactly right and correct with your diagnosis as to exactly what is wrong, to hit the nail on the head. Okay, so there we have 15 particular expressions and phrases that you can use in business English, you can use in conversational English, you can use them to make yourself sound more like a native speaker. Go through them one by one. Make sure, first of all, that you understand them. Look at the examples that I've given, listen to them again, see how I use them. If you feel you need more, as I always say, come back to me and I'll give you some more if they're absolutely needed. You don't have to remember, and you won't remember them all, but try and practice some of them. And as always, as I said, come back to me if you need some suggestions, or if you have some suggestion that you want to make that you would like me to include in a future video, then please let me know, and I'm very happy to hear them. It means I don't have to think all of the ideas. Okay, so this is Harry, thanking you for watching, thanking you for listening. As always, remember to come back to me for the next lesson.